That's not what I said either. Hi. For a big stretch. Here. Here. Hey, freedom. Good job. Good boy. Hi there. Welcome to the HearHerHands craft and knitting podcast. So I am Jennifer. I am a handy crafter and multi-craftual. I do a little bit of everything from knitting to crochet to sewing to quilting, and I am located here in Baltimore City, Maryland, with my partner and 3 miniature schnauzers and 2 black cats. This is one of my schnauzers. Pardon, he's a little shaggy and we need a room, huh? Yeah. So, here on my podcast, I mostly talk about what I'm making and plans for making in the future and any things that come up, questions I may have, ideas, designs. I have only been in garments for a year, so I'm still pretty new to this thing, and I very much covet the help of the general yarny community. I'm constantly learning. I'm still learning what I like. Wanna go? Yeah? Okay. Go ahead. Bye. You sit down? You sit down there. Okay. I'm learning what I like as far as fits and style and like how things look on me. So all that being said, let's just jump into it and talk about some cozy creating on this very chilly early spring day. So happy March. It is March. It is March 15th this morning. Hey, sit. Thank you. It is March 15th this morning. It is cold and windy, and that fall spring we were talking about a couple weeks ago is well gone. So I am bundled up in my finished and newly fixed Petite sweater, which I will talk about a little later on in the podcast. The other thing is March is my birthday month, and I am thinking about doing my first ever birthday cast on. So again, new knitter. I've never done this before. I am, oh no, got yarn with me. I did. So I have one of them. I'll get the other one later. So I have 2 birthday cast on ideas I want to talk to you about and get your input on, and maybe, see which one you would do. They're both more complicated knits. I'm just in the mood for something that's different and interesting and maybe not stockinette because I've suddenly been doing a lot of stockinette. So the first option for, I'll be back for that. Yeah, so one of my birthday cast on ideas is I want to, and I've been saying this forever, I want to knit the Crossed Flowers cardigan by Christoffers, and I want to use a hand spun that is called, it's a Whirl Tone 100% wool, and this is called Aurora Borealis. So this is the color for the flowers, and then for the for the like background of the cardigan, the background of the cardigan, I would do this dark gray, super fine alpaca. So that is one option. So that's the one I'm thinking of for the Pressed Flowers cardigan. And if I don't get the Pressed Flowers cardigan as my birthday cast on, I definitely going to be knitting it sometime soon. However, it is bottom up, and generally I don't love the bottom up. So this is why I'm thinking about maybe doing my other option, which is the Jenny jacket by Tunic by Petite, which is the only one that is a top-down construction. I believe it might be a raglan. So this is my yarn that I just frogged from my beachside cardigan that I really actually liked the cardigan, but it was also a bottom up, which is why I'm hesitating a bit. So this one I frogged all the yarn over my March, February frog it, fix it, finish it marathon, and I have 5 skeins. And this is worsted wool, classic wool worsted, in the color Seafoam, which would make a lovely journey jacket. So that's my other option. If you were me, which would you do? I think maybe I'm leaning towards the journey jacket just because it's top down, but if you've knit the pressed flowers and you have any advice for me at all, or if you get the pressed flowers at your local and would be able to help me make sure I don't totally fuck it up, I would love any help you can give me. Yeah, so those are my birthday knit ideas. So my second thing I thought about bringing up, so I don't go with y'all here. Okay, so I have been podcasting since the fall, and I've just had a really hard time getting my little podcast off the ground, and I don't know. You have advice for me? Like, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. It's like, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. So here's the thing. I'm going to keep trying because honestly, in this dismal world that is the US right now, I appreciate having an outlet to talk about my knitting and like have something to sort of focus on during the week that is not, I don't know, that is, just for me, I think. And, if I never get traction, that's really okay. I just wonder if there's anything more I could be doing or do differently, right? So, have any advice for me, I will take all of that and put it to use as best I can. So, there's some stuff that is really difficult for me. So, for example, I know sound quality is really important, which is why I have a microphone in the first place. But I am deaf, so kind of doing the best I can as someone who cannot entirely hear themselves talk, right? I can't hear my voice. I can't speak or enunciate better than I am. This is really me focusing on it. And I don't know. I shouldn't say can't, right? So other things I've kind of looked at is I've trying to do more innovative knitting things. I'm talking a little bit here and there about my life and things that I need to make my life and knitting accessible. So for example, I have a pattern in here that I'm working on, and the way to make it accessible to me is I have to a little bit at a time to put it down because it's on a really small gauge, and it hurts my wrist after a while. And the thing that I do the most to kind of like break it up is I will crochet a hexagon for my summer fade hexy blanket. So that's kind of one of the like strategies I do. In the disability world, we call this uh, it's not timing. Kind of is. It's like you break things up. It's a sort of a type of time. So yeah, so that's your advice. I want to connect with the knitting community, right? And yeah, I'm not discouraged. I'm just mostly curious if there's anything I can do differently. If there's something I'm like blatantly doing wrong that I don't know about, that would be helpful. Yeah. So as far as the regular podcast goes today, I have 2 reviews from my February Frog It, Fix It, Finish It projects, and I've kind of already mentioned them briefly, both of them. So the first one is this, and this is my Solstice sweater. It is by Katowicka or Veronica Lindbergh, and I knit it up in Lion Brand Superwash Merino in the color Quail, and I used 6 balls, which, oh man, not quite 6 balls actually. So yeah, more like 5.5-ish. But when I finished this, initially I did the seam bind off on the sleeves and I blocked it, and I think this is typical for sweaters, but it kind of grew. It grew a little more widthwise than it did lengthwise, and my sleeves were short. They kept riding up on my arm, and they would like end up here, even though they weren't that short. I don't know what the difference is now, but my main goal for this was to make it wearable. I had to add a couple of inches ish to my sleeves, so I undid the seam bind off, which was there. That was the first time I had done a seam bind off, and the first time I had undone the seam bind off, and kind of sort of makes me rethink doing a seam bind off, but the look is so nice that I think I'm gonna keep doing it. So I undid that and I reknit and I added about 1.5 to 2 inches to each sleeve. So like when I pull my arms, it's not perfect. They're not perfect. Like honestly, I could nitpick these, and I really want to, but I'm not going to. So yeah, I have added some more length to both cuffs. And I did a lot of measuring, and so when I measured this section, just like the picot and diamond section, and then I just made the cuff the exact same length. So like the whole picot and diamond section. So that ended up working out really nice. So it's very balanced looking to my eye, at least. I don't know if it was exactly the pattern or if I knitted to pattern and it just ended up too short, but it is done now. And I'm very pleased with it, and I'll put up some B-roll so you can see what it looks like on me, although I think I've probably shared it. Also, the really cool thing is I found this shirt. It is Old Navy. I don't know, like, I'm sure they're a sweatshop, right? Like, I don't know. I don't believe they're a good clothing company by any means, but I've honestly had a hard time finding this color. So I have one long sleeve shirt in this color, one bralette in this color, and one like regular shirt in this color to match to wear under this, because the picot edge on the back of the, like along the shoulder line, is really pretty, but because it's a picot, there's like a bunch of holes and it goes right to under my underarm, and I get very cold like that. So this is the only way I can be warm enough, and especially right now, it's kind of what I need. But I like it, and it's very pretty. And I'm very pleased that I found a very, very close color match. So my other Frog It, Fix It, Finish It Frog It February job was this, which I also mentioned. So I had my beachside Occidental cardigan that it was such a beautiful lace pattern that I really enjoyed, but it was also knit bottom up, and I am still a new enough knitter that bottom up is just, unless I am doing it to exactly look like the pattern, it's hard for me to make it to the specifications of what I want. It's hard to change the length and things like that on a bottom up pattern. So it ended up being very much like a shorter kind of cropped cardigan that you wear with dresses, like cropped in the sense that it was like above the waist, but cropped in the sense that it was not like this, like longer. So I was finding that I wasn't wearing it, especially because it was cropped, but the sleeves were looser. Just as I knitted one of the two style options, I knitted them in sort of a balloon sleeve style, and I just found it kind of awkward to wear. So that was all the problems for me. Problems. They were not problems with the pattern. They were problems with how I preferred the pattern. So instead, I frogged this, and I also used the tutorial by Engineering Knits. So I kind of frogged it by hand and wound it up on my yarn ball winder, and then I wound it up on a knitting knotty and turned it into a skein and then washed it. So I got a good portion of the weighty yarn stuff out of it. So it's in much better shape, and I think it will be much easier to knit it into the journey jacket. So that's what I decided to do with it. And then as far as another finished project that I had finished, I think I mentioned it a while back. So I knit this, which is the top-down pussy hat, I believe. So this is from the 2016 Pink Pussy Hat movement, right? And I did really like, so this is top down in the round, so it starts with a Jenny's Magic cast on, I believe. And that was really fun, honestly, and it is very cute. I think it says cute. I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit tight. So it does fit. A cute little hat. So this is actually for an art. A friend of mine and I are talking about doing art, like for test art. So this will be sort of semi-destroyed for an art exhibition. But when and if that happens, I will share that with you. So for now, I have a very cute little pussy hat, and this is knit in Red Heart Super Saver in the mini skein. So I had ordered a set of like rainbow colored mini skeins from Red Heart Super Saver, and this is exactly one skein. So that's kind of cool. So that one's finished. And then we'll throw it back to an older whip. So yes, this is, I believe this is in the size small. So I have a 21-inch head. So I knitted the like smallest adult size option for that pattern, and I will link this below. Then I have my very fun sort of, it's turning into a long-term whip. My Ombre Cardigan by Hannah's Fiberworks in Neighborhood Fiber Co. Media sock in the color Blue Ridge and Valley, and then with a strand of Satisuri, Manacrotha Satisuri in the color Nougat. So I only added a couple more rows. This one's gone pretty slow because I've got 2 test knits on the needles right now, but I think it's gone well. It's still soft. I do think the Surrey is a better option for me personally, and I'm really thankful that I put that together because it sort of tones down some of the colors in this that were making me think McDonald's. I really like it now. Okay, so the other little, oops, did I drop it? Oh no. Oh yes. Uh-oh. I think I lost my needle. So I am currently, yeah, I did. Okay, so I am currently working on the armhole on this. So I have my Pomp Springs paint, which is a pattern by Leslie of Nick, California. And I am knitting this up in Webb's Huntington Valley Yarns, which is a fingering weight in the color. Fingering weight Superwash Merino in the color Lemongrass. And I'm on my second bow. I mean, like, I could feasibly stop here. It would be pretty cropped, but I am going to knit to the pattern. So I still have quite a few more inches to go once I finish this armhole and the neck. So there's 2 armholes almost done, and I think it's looking really good. I'm very pleased. I'm not really a knit a pattern multiple times type of person. I don't think I have yet done that, but this is one that I see myself knitting multiple times. I already have at least 2 more yarns that I'm very excited to work up into this. So that. And then I'm going to use this. I'm going to do this inside out first. I'm going to use this to hide my top secret test knit. Okay. Alright, so my top secret test knit. So I'm only going to talk to you about my new, what's it called? Skill? So, new skill from this top secret test knit. It's really cool. So I finally figured out how to knit sleeves 2 at a time, and now I'm on the boring old 1 color. So I'm knitting 1 color, I'm knitting 2 sleeves, 2 at a time, so they're the exact same width now, and they're also the exact same length, and it's really so much easier for me to keep track of where I am, or how far I have to go, or, I mean, they're not very long. I think they're currently like elbow length sleeves, but I am so pleased with myself that I have taken the top secret test knit, and like I have learned so much to this test knit, but I'm very, very excited to have learned how to knit sleeves 2 at a time. The setup was a bit of a bear, honestly. But once I got to that point and had everything set up, and this is a color work pattern, so like the first section of the sleeve was also 2 at a time color work, which, oh man, it was a headache, but it was so incredibly worth it, and I am so excited. Like, yay sleeves. I don't know. Maybe we can show these to you. Right? Like, this is also a Valley yarn. Oops. Right? That's cool. 2 sleeves. So this is also a Valley yarn in their DK. So this is Superwash Merino DK in the color steel blue, I believe. And it is working up super cute. I'm so proud of this. I'm especially just proud of this part. Oh no. Yep, I lost my needle. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Okay. And now we'll talk about my single hold on, I get this back in first order. This is my single Spun fabric that I got to make up some more little sewing bags. I'm probably making one up for my niece who is in vet school, and I'm also probably making some up for myself and maybe for couple friends. So this is really pretty. This yarn, or this fabric, is from Spun Flower, and it is a watercolor floral dog print. So initially I saw this in a wallpaper format, and I might still order the wallpaper, but I was going to do like a giant picture frame in this, but I decided I would work with the fabric first to make sure it's something I really like. That's so cute. And also this one right here, the little rose and teal. I'm pretty sure that's a schnauzer. And it's like my favorite color, teal, and it's roses and has natural ears and so adorable. So that was my only acquisition this week. Yeah, I've had a full week as far as yarny things go. I'm looking forward to my birthday, sort of. It's so weird to say that the way things are right now. I'm looking forward to doing something like casting on special projects for my birthday. Also, I am in Baltimore, and the end of the month, this month, is the Charm City Yarn Crawl, and it's kind of all over the Baltimore City County area. And I'm debating on whether or not I want to go to that. Not if I think the majority for me, the main barrier was just the traveling part of it. I don't drive, so in order for me to go to something like that kind of yarn crawl, I would have to get someone to go with me who wanted to drive, or I would have to have my partner drive me, which either of those things is fine. I'm sure I could find people, but yeah, is that something I want to do, or would I rather spend that time doing something else? I don't know. And also, like, yarn calls and lots of people, and I'm a little bit of an introvert, so it depends. I've never done something like that. Have you done a yarn crawl locally where you are? Have you done the Charm City yarn crawl? Either way, if you have, please let me know about your experience with that, and if you would recommend that as something as a first time yarn event attendee, or if you would suggest I would do something different for my first yarn event. If I've never done anything like that, I would so very much appreciate your advice. And if you are going to Charm City Yarn Call, do let me know. Like, it would be fun to see other people out and about at that event if I do decide to go. But yeah, so in the meantime, my name is Jennifer. I am HearHerHands. I am a multi-craftual individual who loves her who loves her dog and loves making things. So I hope you enjoyed my little podcast today. And if you did, feel free to drop a line below and let me know, I don't know, any of the things I asked. Let me know which of patterns you would knit, first of all. As your birthday cast on, which you do a bottom up cast flowers cardigan, which is a pattern I've been dying to make forever, or which you do a top down denim jacket v-neck, which is a newer pattern to me than I want to knit just because it's not bottom up. So I would love to hear from you. And thanks so much for watching. Till the next one. Bye.